I need more money because I need more money. A few years ago, I was able to be on NPR's This Is Uncomfortable with Rima Reis, and I was able to join in with Aisha, who was struggling with her relationship with money, and provide a little bit of emotionally focused financial coaching. Aisha is definitely a person who would fall into the category of a money admirer, aka a person who wants to have money for the sake of having money. In this series, I'm breaking down the 4 different money archetypes to help you understand your strengths and challenges with money. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay. I'm a certified financial therapist, licensed social worker, author of the book, The Financial Anxiety Solution, and we're breaking down how money and mental health intersect. I can help you and your team or peers or colleagues by providing tailored financial wellness trainings to help you feel better about your relationship with money. To learn more about bringing me in, go to mindmoneybalance.com/speaking and we can chat more. If the Money Admirer were a cartoon, they might be Scrooge McDuck swimming in a pool of coins. Look, there's nothing wrong with striving to earn more money or to have money so that you can achieve a certain financial goal. The problem with striving for money just for money's sake is you often lose the forest for the trees and forget about your values or forget about your why. As I shared in the last video, I'm going to give you some examples of how this might show up, what some of the different strengths and challenges are, and help you think a little bit more about your relationship with money. A person who is a money admirer might agree with statements like, I get anxious when I'm not thinking about new income streams or new side hustles. Earning more money is what makes me feel worthwhile. Earning more money is what makes me feel productive and worthy. I deserve more money if I work really hard. Having more money will make you happier. Some things the money admirer might do in terms of their behaviors is to associate how much they earn or how much they have with their self-worth. For example, I am only worthy if I have a salary of 6 figures, or I am only deserving if I have X dollars in the bank. Those types of associations with this external number being transferred into their inherent worthiness. They also may struggle to sit in a place where they feel happy enough or content enough with the numbers that they have or that they earn. What I mean by that is they do something like, if I got a new job that paid me $10,000 more per year, then I'd be able to relax. So they put a lot of energy and effort into applying for new jobs and interviewing for new jobs, and they get a job that pays that $10,000 more, and they get that first paycheck or the first couple of paychecks, and they go, oh, maybe it wasn't 10 grand more I needed a year. Maybe it was really 20. So they keep moving that bar up, making it really hard to sit and enjoy what they have accomplished. Or they save up for a week-long vacation and they take that vacation. And then as they're coming home, they're like, 7 days is not a long enough vacation. I really needed a 14-day vacation, right? They're constantly struggling with being able to honor the things that they've achieved and feeling like they just need more. So there's a struggle with enoughness. Now, who ends up as this money admirer? Well, a lot of us. We live in a society that has pretty consistently told us that if you earn more money, you will be happier. If you have this item, you will be happier. If you live in this house, you will be happier. We live in a materialistic society that has equated money with happiness, so it makes perfect sense that many of us would think that that would solve our problem with happiness. Now, to be clear, there is absolutely a connection between money and happiness. What we know is that as we earn more money, we do tend to be happier, and then there is this leveling out that happens. The old myth of the happiness leveling out around 90K is now debunked. Now, depending on who you ask and what study you're looking at, it's somewhere between $100,000 and $300,000 that we feel we need in order to be happy. So there's that there for you. But in general, what we know is once we have our basic needs met and then an additional cushion to live, then our return on happiness doesn't necessarily go up with every single dollar that we earn. It is really hard in our society to untangle money and productivity and earning and net worth from our self-worth. I mean, shoot, from the time we were kids, we were constantly being externally rewarded for pushing more, for getting the A, for getting the A plus, for getting credit. There was so much emphasis on the external gold stars or the grade or whatever it may be. We have been raised in a society that tells us when you go above and beyond, you'll be rewarded. Now, my Gen Zers may be here going, Lindsay, that ain't me. Y'all are a different type of generation who has seen how the myth of capitalism and success has panned out, and more of you have opted out of this. But for my millennials and older, it is very common that we may end up in this belief set that if I have more money, then everything would be better. So when it comes to what we can do, I often invite my money admirers to set a goal that has to do with money, but is values aligned. Let's go back to the example of the week-long vacation that the admirer saved up for and went on and then decided that just wasn't enough. Instead of saying, well, we absolutely need to double the length of our vacation. To be clear, I think everyone can and should double the length of their vacation. This is just the example that I picked. I would ask them, what were you hoping to get out of that vacation? Well, Lindsay, I was really hoping to get out of that vacation some quality time with my family, not having to stress about cooking or cleaning, and to just power down and be fully present. And then I asked, well, where did you go on vacation and what did you do? Oh, we went to Vegas and we saw a few shows and it was great. But honestly, my phone was pinging anytime it wasn't on airplane mode. The kids had fun, but they were overstimulated and tired and exhausted at the end of the day. And my partner and I, we tried to get away for a dinner and hire a sitter one night, and it just completely fell apart. And in that instance, I would say, well, yeah, maybe you need a longer vacation, but also what are some guardrails that you can put into place so that when you take that vacation, it is more aligned with your values. And you said the values of having this particular vacation were quality time with family, time to be able to power down, and time away from work. If you were letting your phone be on every single time of the day except for the 2 hours you were in a show, then obviously you're going to be distracted all the time. If you wanted quality time with your kids, but they're overly stimulated by the different hotel lobbies and all of the excitement that's happening around them, maybe Vegas wasn't the best choice. So thinking about, yes, take another vacation, but how can you ensure that that vacation is more values aligned and it's not about staying at the fancier hotel or getting away for longer? So really thinking through that can be really, really helpful. Now, the cool thing about the admirer is that we can take that drive and that intensity that has almost exclusively been channeled toward work and toward money and think about how we can spread that intensity to other places. How can they invest in their health? How can they invest in their relationships? How can they invest in their community? How can they take some of that intensity and spread it around? The reason for this is money related and mental health related because that's what I do here. The reason I bring this up is that research shows that when people retire, if they have one singular tie to their identity that is career and money related, for example, I was a superintendent at school and I retire. If I don't have any other identities outside of being a superintendent at school, my likelihood to develop clinical depression is much higher than the superintendent who had additional identities, meaning they had additional interests. Yes, they were a superintendent, but they also were in a gardening club, and they also volunteered at the food shelter, and they also made a pact to travel with their college buddies once every single year. And they also believed in being a really good auntie, right? So when we have diverse interests outside of money and career, we are more likely to be able to tolerate the discomfort that happens when one of those identities is compromised. So for example, we've got these two superintendents. If they both lose their jobs, the person who has other areas to lean on, other life domains that they are invested in, is more likely to be more resilient than the person whose entire identity was tied up in that one job of being superintendent. So the reason that I want these admirers to really move out of their career and their identity being everything is that it's a protective mechanism. So I invite them to think about how they can take that intensity and kind of share the love and spread it around. The cool thing about admirers is that they also tend to have a stronger capacity for risk-taking and entrepreneurship. So these are going to be the people who have these creative ideas and can not just ideate on them, but also implement. That can be an amazing skill to have. And what I invite them to do is really think about tying your money goals again into those values. So when you achieve that goal, you are able to sit back and bask and relax in it instead of going, okay, what's the next number? What's the next goal that I need to hit to be able to be present in achieving that goal and sitting with it? If you want to figure out what your money archetype is, go to mindmoneybalance.com/quiz to learn more.